Developing tonight, daylight images of the aftermath of a deadly plane crash in Carroll County. And we're now learning more about the victims, 2 men from Wisconsin and the pilot. They've been identified as John Pagel, his son-in-law, Steve Witcpalek, and pilot Nathan Saari. These are pictures of Pagel and Witcpalek. John Pagel is the CEO of Pagel's Ponderosa Dairy Farm in Kewanee, Wisconsin. Their Cessna 441 took off from Eagle Creek Airport in Indy last night. The plane went down around 7:40 p.m. in a field just north of Rossville in Carroll County. The plane was en route to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Call 6 investigates Paris LaBelle has been tracking this crash since it happened last night. Paris, federal investigators are on the scene right now in Carroll County?
That's right. They started with investigators last night, and this is the scene from last night that investigators were at. They secured it for those federal investigators, and now the federal investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration are on the ground looking through the wreckage, trying to determine what made this plane go down. Now, while investigators were working on the ground through Carroll County today, they're also working with counterparts in Chicago and Indianapolis who are going through radio communications and radar recordings. Sources say it's also shedding a little more light on what might have happened in those last moments before the crash. Sources tell us the pilot switched over to Chicago's air traffic control, and over the radio he told the controller that he was having issues with his flight controls. A few moments later he made another radio call that was unintelligible, and the plane disappeared from the radar. At the same time on the ground, neighbors in the area say they heard what sounded like a race car.
I heard the plane making some noise, and I told my wife if something didn't sound right. And so when I just stepped outside the door, I heard the crash and seen the explosion. You could smell the fuel in the air. I mean, you could just smell it last night after it happened.
Erica, right now investigators are also talking to people who live in the area or may have called 911 to see if there was anything that may have led up to that crash.
Yeah, we know that it was foggy and we've had a lot of rain here, so we know it was foggy in that area. Did that play a factor?
It was really foggy. As we were driving up to Carroll County yesterday, there was a lot of fog on the roads, but that airplane, which is a Cessna 441, is pretty able to go through those conditions. We'll show you a picture here that was posted on FlightAware from 2 years ago of that actual plane. It does have an autopilot system, and experts say it could have easily flown through those foggy weather conditions. So really that is not a factor, but they're going to be looking into that. Investigators have a lot to go through, and that will be part of this investigation.
All right, Paris, thanks for staying on top of this.